What a time to be a One Piece fan. The manga is going insane. Luffy and Kaido's fight is probably one of the best animated fights in anime. Getting the best animated is coupled with the introduction of Gear 5. It was bound to be great. Plus we got a new movie. But it all came crashing when we got the sudden news that One Piece was getting a live action adaptation. Well, it was bound to get complaints. I mean, look at the past adaptations. Have you seen a good live action? And with the reveal of it being One Piece, everyone thought that it would get dragged into one of the biggest disasters in media's history, the live action curse. So as the days rolled by, people were getting excited about the upcoming anime episodes but also couldn't forget but be anxious about how the live action will come out. So I did my due diligence and watched the live action, and to be honest, it was not bad. The first hurdle we need to understand is that live action is a form of cinematography where real people act with real physical sets and props instead of animation. Personally, I haven't watched any live action, but from the clips I've seen and at least from the internet, many fans are deeply displeased with how the studio produced mediocre versions of the original. However, many including me would argue that One Piece has broken the barrier and paved the way for the potential of how a live action anime can truly look. The next thing we need to point out is how the story is going to fold. Well, because it's 8 episodes, there's gonna be a lot of changes to the storyline depending on how far it wants to go. And yes, these 8 episodes cover up to the Arlong Park arc in the original story. So yeah, there are some changes to the story. But before we can talk about the story, in order to make the One Piece world fully realized, the props and sets have to look the part. Immediately when you watch the first scene, you see how big and fascinating the world looks. Anybody can notice that this world is massive with many stories to be told by different people all around the world. I was very pleased to see how the live action had many scenes plus more. It shows a perspective on how immersive life is in One Piece, and at least in the live action the East Blue. What I worried mostly was the cast who would act the characters, because in the past there were only Japanese casts that would act in the live action, which did not do well. But this cast was a unique group of people from different backgrounds, which is extremely fitting since the characters in One Piece would actually have different cultures in real life. Netflix had this on a back burner for 3 years, and a lot can happen in 3 years. Like Taz, who played Sanji, actually learned how to cook and learn martial arts just to fit the role, and he definitely didn't disappoint. The good thing about this cast is that they are fans of the series. I was watching one of their Wired interviews, and these guys really know their One Piece lore, especially Emily, who played Nami, which makes sense. And the director, who had a great portfolio of work, stated in the interview that they wanted actors who had the love and chemistry, which means that the cast and the people behind it want to make the show with genuine love and care. And all of that love, support, and hard work paid off. Luffy was bright, shiny, and goofy, while Zoro acted really serious and quiet. Nami acted well as the brains and the one with the most logic. Sanji was pretty good with his role, and Usopp's boastful acts were good. There were other outside who did really great, like how Meppo did really well being the annoying marine he is, and Buggy, who had to showcase a lot of emotion. But there were some, in my humblest of opinions, didn't like. Throughout the series, they really made Garp look like a really bad guy, when overall, in the anime, he's supposed to be chill, jolly, and easygoing. I also couldn't take the fishmen seriously with their outfits, but that's another issue with live action. I expect that all of the cast won't look identical to the original, nor do I expect them to do exactly what the anime did frame by frame, and I do expect scenes to feel a bit cringe. But live actions are supposed to have a realistic and modern touch to it, but because of this format, it leads to a lot of inconsistencies. For all of my One Piece anime viewers, a lot of it will act as a refresher to where it all started, and to the new ones who started, I expected some to enjoy and be curious about how the story is. This might be a problem. As you watch it, many things have been improvised, like the first scene where a lot of notable characters are seen, which never happened in the first episode, and another moment that was added to a storyline is a decorative and cool piece where Mr. 7 meets Zoro and Zoro kills him, when in the anime it never shows you that but only mentioned. But way later in the story, Garp holding the execution never happened, and just to build on Garp's part, a lot of the plot element has been switched up due to Garp's presence. Now, I don't know whether it was Oda's idea or the writers, but in almost every arc that happens, Garp has some sort of involvement to it, and Garp never appeared in those arcs in the anime in the first place. His meeting with Mihawk never happened, nor did him seeing his grandson at Arlong Park. However, I don't think this is a big issue overall, as I believe it was a good touch and an interesting perspective on how Marines overlook the world, when so far we've mainly seen how pirates do for the most part. I think it was necessary to know what happened with Garp, because in the anime we know just very little about what happened with Koby and Helmeppo, but in the live action we get to see how both Koby and Helmeppo started their work as Marines with the Garp as their teacher. And one more thing to mention. Who is this man? Bogart is the supposed right-hand man of Garp who actually got more screen time than the anime version, which gives me hope to see what he does in the anime. I think I talked about everything I want to talk about for the live action, so I'll end off with this. I think One Piece live action broke the curse for many reasons. The first and most important was Oda overlooking the whole project, which makes sense. The guy who's been writing the story for 20 years, he should know a thing or two of how the story should go. Second, everyone was a fan of the medium. Through the interviews, you can see how happy these guys are being together to talk about anything, including One Piece. From the added scenes to moments that were removed to moments that were improvised, the production team did an amazing job crafting the best possible One Piece they could create. So did it break the curse? Yes. Would I recommend it to a non-One Piece viewer? Of course. And how would Chopper look in the next season of live action One Piece? Thank you for 1000 subscribers. It's been a year since I started my YouTube journey and I hope you guys can stick around for more anime content from me in the future.